Hey everybody, this is just Raji, and we are checking in for another episode of Honest as Fuck. And here are my two lovely, I don't want to say co-stars because they're awesome. Jazzy Sizzle and Jen from The Block. Okay? Don't forget the poo. So, ladies, there has been a lot going on social media, even this week. So, where do we want to start? It's so much going on.
Oh, we could start from the beginning of the week where, with Nick Cannon, I actually was I thought something was up because I'm like an avid Wild 'N Out fan and I'm an avid watcher. Where on Tuesday, his episode in Air Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came on, which is, very incidental given, the whole Will and Jada situation. So I said, what's going on? Well, why is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air infiltrating on Wild 'N Out's time? And I thought something was up. I knew something was up. And then the next day, all of a sudden, Nick Cannon's plastered all over social media for what Viacom is portraying as anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, which obviously I don't believe is true. And I'm sure a majority of people of color don't believe is true because these are, basically facts that you can find in history books and books all over the place. So it's just, I feel like they are really trying to knock him down for speaking the truth. And, Jewish people do control the media, like, the Rothschild family. And they control a majority of the programs that are operated through television. So it would only make sense why they would react that way towards Nick Cannon's comments. So I know, Jasmine, you were saying that there was a female sportscaster that referred to, was it football players?
Basketball players. I mean, there's been plenty of newscasters who have said questionable things about, Black people, minorities, and they still have a job. So I don't understand why Nick Cannon was fired when he's expressing his opinion.
So, not only did he express his opinion, but he also apologized. And he's apologized several times, and he's actually supposed to come out with an interview with like a very prominent rabbi, I guess, to hash out what it was, because he said it wasn't his ignorance, but basically he just wasn't as well informed as he is kind of now to some of the plights of Jewish people.
But what if he was well informed?
I don't think he wasn't well informed. I think that he had a lot of great information, but you can tell the information probably was a little one-sided. So maybe, being informed on both sides. You know how they say it's always his side, her side, and then the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then forming your own opinion from there. I don't really see what was so hurtful or what was so damning that for him to lose basically everything.
Yeah, I just think that if Nick Cannon, this is just my honest opinion, if Nick Cannon was a white entertainer, I feel like he would have got away with it. Honestly.
I don't think that the media would have let him get away with it. Because, now we're in this time where everything is being captured and is being casted on social media. I think it definitely would have been picked up on social media, and he definitely would have had to issue some kind of apology if it was somebody who was Caucasian. Because even look at, who was the comedian? Was it Jim Carrey? Somebody who basically apologized for doing blackface on In Living Color 50 years ago.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Right.
So it's not that they're not being held accountable now, but it's more so that we, minority people, are holding them accountable. These corporations and organizations that they're involved with are not. Hey, okay.
Do you think Nick Cannon will recover from this?
I think he will. And I not only think that he will recover, I think he may come out in a better position because he has all this experience dealing with networks and dealing with things. And now we're in a time where if you have enough money, you can buy your own. You can buy your own. You can buy your own company. Like think about what Jay-Z did with Tidal and what Diddy did with Revolt TV. Like there's other avenues for him to go to where it's Black owned and he'll be his own boss. So I think he may just come out on top.
Yeah, I know he's fighting for the rights to the show because it's basically his baby. It's been through 15 seasons. So how dare MTV or VH1 try to take that away from him and place him to, they're not going to get the same profit in terms of viewers and, you know, advertisements and things like that because a majority of his funding came from people of color. So, I mean, I've seen, I'm not sure how true it is, you know, I've seen potential replacements that are online regarding, you know, the new host of Wilding Out. And I just think they're all like white people, which I think it's just, why is this a race issue? Because like Jasmine said, if it was a white man who made these comments, they wouldn't have taken it as far to firing him and completely show off of the air, especially when there are still unaired episodes that were already previously recorded. So what are we doing with those?
Right.
They didn't even, I'm pretty sure that Nick Cannon had a contract, as every entertainer does, when they air something, you know, when they're a part of a project, they have a contract. I don't think he finished his contract. I'm pretty sure they canceled his contract. Um, I honestly think that there is no replacement for Wild 'N Out. That's just my honest opinion. It's going to probably get syndicated and he's going to make money off of syndication, but if they replace Wild 'N Out, it's going to be a joke because that's technically hit. Like it's hit. I think it was even his idea.
It was his idea. The name of the show is Nick Cannon Presents Wild 'N Out.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, since his apology earlier today, what was it? You know, which I feel he just did it just to make peace, which I understand as well. But, you know, he received a lot of, you know, from where he what did he tweeted that his own community turned on him and called him a sellout for apologizing, and then he said good night, enjoy Earth. And that kind of, I mean, some people look at it as a pre-suicidal type of route because he, you know, he said y'all can have this planet, I'm out. So I just think he's just fed up. I don't think he's going to do anything crazy. But also, you know, needless to say, look at Tamar Braxton now. It's a lot that's happened in 1 week. You know, where she allegedly committed suicide, and is now being held. I'm not sure what the facts, you know, the ongoing facts. There's, you know, so much stuff. There's no validity to what exactly happened. It's directly from her mouth, so it's just all assumptions at this point. But you know, there was.
So it was alleged that she was, you know, having a couple drinks as she's known to do and took some unknown sources, which probably would be pills. Once again, that is not a fact. That is my personal opinion. But the fact was, she was drinking alcohol and took some unknown substance. But what makes them feel like it's suicide was like the tweets that she was supposed to put out prior to. And then, just some things that she's been doing. Like she changed her Instagram name and some things of that nature.
Put
So,
slave as her middle name.
what she's saying, she's been a slave to this industry, and in some respect, she's been in the entertainment industry for a very long time, like before Braxton Family Values and before people knew her as Tamar. She was in the industry as one of her sister's backup singers, and she's always came out about dealing with mental health issues, which is a big thing in that Black and brown community.
I agree. I completely agree. I also
There's
think
like
that
a whole. Go ahead, Ezra.
it doesn't help that I feel like social media also targets that like our community specifically and picks them apart. So if we have celebrities and we have people who have social media accounts and they're already suffering from mental health issues such as depression, such as anxiety, things like that, it really takes a toll on these people. And maybe Nick Cannon wasn't having a good day that day when he was um when he was talking and he was just going to air it out, you know.
Especially given the whole Black Lives Movement, revolution that's still ongoing. I mean, needless to say, it's just all politically intense at this point, and he wanted to use his platform to speak his own opinion, his voice. Basically, nothing he said was incorrect or wrong, and I don't think it's offensive. I just think Viacom wanted an excuse to get a up and coming rising Black man, especially a young Black man, out of it. Because look what they did to Bill Cosby and NBC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not only that, think about everything that Nick Cannon was scheduled to do. And they've been telling him, like, be careful, be careful, be careful. And it's like, you can't get him this way. So we're going to find any excuse to get him out. Remember, he was supposed to have come out with a documentary about Dr. Sebi.
Right.
Very careful with that. He's kind of been educating the Black and brown community on a lot of things that we don't know about. He's been reaching these very prolific people who they keep hidden, who are not social media famous, but they do have a message that everybody needs to hear. And he's been bringing them to the forefront. He's been very active with Black Lives Matter, and he has some influence on our community. So I can see why they want to silence and cancel Nick Cannon, because of everything positive that he's trying to do. Why not?
And didn't he
Why?
Nick Cannon wanted to come out with oh yeah, it had to do with Dr. Sebi because Nipsey Hussle was initially working on that documentary.
Yes.
It's all, I mean, people look at it as conspiracy theories, but it's too much to be a coincidence. For it all to be a coincidence.
You think that they don't want that society does not want this documentary coming out because it's it's suspected that Dr. Sebi had a cure for HIV and AIDS and other diseases.
I think this is way beyond Dr. Sebi, but go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh no. I agree. I was just gonna say the same thing that you're saying. It's way beyond his findings and whatever he was coming out with. I think it's more to it than that. I agree.
I think with his canon class and just all of the things that he's been pushing out to the people, he's very pro-Black, pro-bi-Black, breaking down a lot of the history of our culture, why our society is the way it is. And not only is he getting the information, but he's putting it on a platform where we can all watch. We can all see it. Like they say, ignorance is bliss. So they're opening our eyes to a lot of things that are going on. So, this is like versus assassination is like we're putting you in a place where now you want to assassinate and kill yourself.
Right.
Because after all of this is going on, now you see the suicidal tweets.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to physically kill you because that's going to make you a martyr. But if I do it this way and then you kill yourself, then you're not seen that way anymore.
Right. And I don't see anything wrong with what he said, but specifically, he was just talking about the Rothschild family, that they, how powerful they've been in the media companies. So, it's how can it be portrayed as hate speech? He never said, this and that, or downplayed their struggle.
Right. So I think he said something along the lines of like Black people are the original Jews.
Yes.
He said something about, Caucasian people being accustomed to stealing and raping and robbing and doing these things to move ahead. He did say it has something to do with melanin, things of that nature. And then he kind of threw like the Jews in the mix. Like he said, the Jewish and the Caucasoids and all of those people. But you see, he only apologizing to the Jews. He's not apologizing to the other groups. So this is just one group of people who feel some kind of way. And he's apologized to that group of people. And it's like they got over it.
But at
But
the same time, Taraj, like Jewish Jewish people, they have their own prejudices, right? So they actually have been through similar things of with the Black community. So they had their Holocaust, we were in slavery, but they still subject themselves to racism, even though like they were killed because of how they looked. They were killed because of their religion. They were placed in concentration camps just because they didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. So it's just a little bit kind of weird for them to not all of them, but for people in their culture to express racism towards Blacks when they have their own history being, discriminated against.
so you think it would be some kind of compassion, but if you heard
Right.
if you heard what they said, he said that white people are incapable of having compassion.
Which is a fact.
They lack compassion and
Yeah.
melanin. And they lack compassion because they lack melanin. But to say that is to also say that us, the Black and brown community, who do not lack melanin, that we should have compassion. We do not. We are very uncompassionate to those who are kind of in the same boat as us.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, Nick Cannon's statements can offend a group of people within a demographic that are not like that. For example, I have white friends that are not racist. I have, everybody has white and Black friends and friends of other cultures. So when Nick Cannon groups, people together and generalize it, and it's just people in general, maybe not Nick Cannon, but when people in general group whites as racist or non-compassionate, there are actually, white people who are fighting for the cause as well, along with us, and using their platforms and
Like privilege.
their privilege. Yeah. So I can also see how specific people can get offended if they're not participating in some of his
So
examples.
I guess the question is an apology enough? Like, is an apology enough to sometimes get over things?
Depends what it is. I mean, these the Jewish community felt offense to these comments. But what about what the people of color and slaves and indentured servants, what they were promised and what they were robbed of? Okay, so are we supposed to accept an apology from the white community? Like, oh, we're sorry that our ancestors did this shit, but we're still gonna use you as our stepping stone to continue to be wealthy and not share the wealth, and still bring you down to this certain level and keep you there through systemic racism and through all these other unfortunate, circumstances that we have to go through, because I feel like they're pushing us. So especially with gentrification, when it comes to uh, jobs and education and the inequalities that come with all of those things, and especially in our own communities, because look in New York City, the 5 boroughs compared to the rest of New York, which are heavily populated by Caucasian people and suburbians. Look at the lifestyles, based off of the communities, the school systems, the housing situations, mortgages, taxes, things like that, the police force, completely different. So it's like, are we just supposed to accept an apology? This is the whole reason for the Black Lives Movement, the revolution, because apology is just not enough for exactly what they did. So if they're feeling offense to us making certain comments, that's a little extreme. I feel like there's no comparison between the two, because we still haven't been, we haven't gotten our whatever reparations we were promised, or nothing been fixed, and it's still an ongoing situation even after years and years of civil rights movement. So getting deeper into the situation, I think that's where Nick Cannon's passion came from when he made those statements.
Okay.
Obviously,
So
he's a Black man living through all of this. Even if though he's famous, he felt like he had that platform and he should use his his podcast especially, and his fans. He can outreach millions and millions of people to spread the word. Like, just like who else? I mean, T.I. always has something to say, but these celebrities, especially Black celebrities, they I it's just they're always going to receive backlash. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Well, what are you going to, like, oh, you're not saying anything, so you're not for the cause. Oh, you're saying something, so you're offending. Like, what do you want us to do? America should be just glad that all we want is equality, and we're not out here like killing and murdering all of that.
right. I get it. So I heard you say it depends on the situation. And in a situation like this, it has to be some sort of action, and not only some sort, like an equal reaction. It has to be a reaction equally for all parties intended. So now when we talk about actions and apologizing, on a lighter note, if you guys were in an entanglement and like it came out and you're very prominent, like you're known, is an apology enough? Like, if your partner goes, babe, I'm so sorry, I was in the entanglement, I just wasn't happy, but you ain't going nowhere, we gonna be together.
Ooh,
How would y'all?
what a fucking week, man. What a damn week, right? Entanglement. You know what? It's crazy because entanglement is a real phrase. It's a real word. It's a real term that means complicated relationship. And there's so many people in complicated relationships: married, not married, single, whatever the case is. And I mean, obviously, it's apparent who we're referring to, which famous couple. But I feel like that's nothing new. I feel like that was just like a distraction to something much bigger because we already knew they were in an open relationship. And especially in August's interview, that portion of his entanglement was only like a few minutes towards the end, and people completely disregarded everything he said. It was like an hour-long interview, completely disregarded everything else he said, but just focused on those 4 last minutes where he mentioned Jada. So
Those were very, very prominent 4 minutes, okay? Because
You want to know what I think with this whole Jada and Will Smith thing? So I think, I mean, they said it in the Red Table Talk that they were separated, you know, and that Will Smith was done with Jada. He was not happy. And in order for them to be happy, he did his thing and she did her thing, right? They said it.
hold up. No, 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 no. You can do your thing and I can do my thing, but we're not gonna have our thing around the kids. Talk about this is my kid's friend. We going on family vacations, all 3 of us. That's not you doing your thing and me doing my thing. That's us doing a him thing. So now I got a question: what was really going
Mhm.
on with Will in August?
So wait. So so with August, I think what happened is say let's say they were on a break and Jada's a hot little thing. And
Hot little coochie too.
she's a hot little thing. So, there's some chemistry between her and August while, and they had an entanglement. But what I think happened, I think August caught feelings. You know, Jada's just doing her thing, trying to find some happiness, even if it's just a quickie, even if it's just like a side thing, like a side relationship. She's trying to find she's trying to bounce back, right? Because when you're going through a divorce or if you're going through a separation, there's a lot of stress, right? There's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of things like that. So I think they had an affair, right? This is my personal opinion. I think August caught feelings. I also think Jada had feelings for August, but there was a moment of reality where she's like, all right, I'm gonna go work this out with my husband. And she left August. And August is burnt. That's my personal feeling.
She used
if
him.
you are a true August Alsina fan and you notice that he made a video of one of his songs
Mm-hmm.
called Nunya, right? And in that video, it was a text message conversation between him and someone named Corin. If anyone put 2 and 2 together, Corin is Jada Pinkett's middle name.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole song was about her, and that song came out a few years ago.
Yeah, he was caught up with her, and
Yeah.
I think he got a little upset when she was like, "All right, I don't think this is working out. I'm gonna work things out with my husband."
I think she was very much. I think that he definitely had feelings for her. That is a fact. But
Mm-hmm.
a question of her leaving Will, I don't think that's ever a question because she said she's never getting a divorce. She said that, like, even if they were separated, he'll be on one side of the house, she'll be on her side of the house, but they're never going to be separated. So whatever business or prenup they got going on over there, she said she is never leaving her husband. Never. They're never getting a divorce. She made that very, 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 very clear.
Do you think she made that clear to August?
She's always said it to the media. She's always said it out loud.
It's
So
one thing to say things to media, but when you're behind closed doors, you may feel you may feel something else. You may lead.
Hello, Topo.
You think she led him on a little bit?
I don't think she led him on. I think she said, listen, this is fun. Me and Will is going through whatever me and Will is going to go through, we're not getting divorced, obviously, because they were still all going on family vacations, all three of them together with the kids. And he was like, probably with it at first because he's young. He probably think like, I could just fucking move on and not catch feelings. And the coochie got him. It got him in the entanglement.
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah.
And now his feelings is all over the place, and he feel like fuck it, like maybe I might just
But
put it
this
out in
happened
public.
4 years ago. Why do you think he's trying to stir the pot now?
He said he's healing, he's letting go of a lot of old things, like he's about honesty and moving forward. But it's always been speculated that they were in a relationship. Maybe something's coming out, and he figured he'd get ahead of it.
All right, so if it takes you 4 years to start healing, or you're in the middle of healing for 4 years, that means that entanglement was deep.
Exactly.
I
And
mean,
remember, he was sick for a little while too, but the person who was supposed to help heal you, like heal your mind, heal you spiritually, was the one who broke you spiritually. Like I don't think that's something you just bounce back from. And then I think, remember, his siblings died, so now he's raising his nieces. He's been through a lot within these last 4 years.
Yeah.
I get it.
do you think that women want to feel needed? So, in the interview with Jada and Will Smith, she said she got into an entanglement with August, but the one of the reasons how it happened is she was in a moment in her life where she was kind of depressed and sad, but she liked healing him. Like she liked to fix him up. She liked that she was needed by him.
She liked to fuck him. Let's tell the truth.
Ooh.
She liked having sex with
Well, I think if you've seen the picture, we all know why.
him.
So I
Hello.
know that I know celebrities, they like to cover up and be private, and they'll do publicity stunts and interviews to make it seem, one way. Do you think Will Smith knew in advance, or do you think he just found out?
Of course he knew in advance.
Yeah.
Of course he knew in advance these things. And Will and Jada are in very prominent positions. They're not people who are nobody. So they got before this real quick. Hence she brought it to the red table. That was the highest viewed
Mm-hmm.
anything in 24 hours on Facebook. They came up off of this. Will and Jada came
For
up off
real.
of this. August Alsina just dropped a new song, and I think he's dropping a new album. And hopefully, people now listen because they associate him with Jada.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has this position where they're winning from this little entanglement,
Exactly.
except Will, because now he's a meme and he looking real sad, like a little sucker.
No, he's
Right, but how would you feel like to revisit that? He had to revisit those feelings.
You know what?
Like,
Let me tell you something. Will is out here getting all the sympathy vagina in the world.
so you think he was not faithful as well? You think he stepped out
He
as well?
wasn't. He wasn't.
uh, but let's look at it this way. So, all right, so now let's say if he dealt with Lori Harvey or someone in that, one of Willow's friends and her peers, her age group, would he be looked at as a pedophile? Why isn't Jada being looked at as like a cougar pedophile? But
They are. They didn't say pedophile, but they did keep saying that she did take advantage of him because of the age difference, because of who she is. They said that. They didn't say pedophile because he was legal, but they did very much say that she was taking advantage of him.
did any of you guys watch the movie Girls Trip with Jada and Tiffany Haddish and who else was it?
Hmm.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, and the girls, yeah.
Right. And Regina Hall. So do you remember that scene with Tiffany Haddish and Jada towards the end where Tiffany was like saying, "Oh, you just now started getting new dick," you pedophile ass. And that was 4 years ago. So it made me wonder if that was like a little pun or kind of something thrown out there to hint off that, that's not just because it was in the movie technically relates to her real life. Because
Right. So they did speculate that her character in Girl Trip was actually loosely based off of her life. Like, think about it. She was a new divorcee trying to get her groove back. She met this musician who started blowing her back out, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You think August is still hitting it?
Speculation. No, he ain't hitting it no more. He done snitched. He's
When do you think all
absolutely.
entanglements stopped?
I think those entanglements stopped real recent. Hmm.
Oh, so you don't think it was 4 years ago? You think it was like a few months ago?
Probably. They've been keeping this quiet for 4 years. Don't nobody keep no secret for no 4 years and then just decide to tell it. You know what? I've been holding this secret in for 4 years. I really gotta let this go. You ain't murdered nobody, you ain't killed nobody, and that's been on your heart that deep for 4 years. I mean, now everybody gonna try to get with Jada. Cause they gonna want to find out what's in that entanglement.
I wonder who has Will Smith has been with. He's a little hottie.
He's very secretive with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's
Very low key.
Watch 8 years later, some celebrities will be like, "Yeah, I had a entanglement."
Will.
man, listen. Well, nah, we can't get no entanglement. Mm-mm.
He did say he was gonna get her back.
He did say that. What does
He
that
was,
mean? I'm
he
gonna
was
get you back.
adamant about that. She was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah."
He's
You think
embarrassed.
I would be too? I mean, but they're in an open relationship though. But even when people are in open relationships, I always feel like the men get more offended, you know? So let's just say, like, even okay, like for example, a threesome. You want a threesome? Fine. Let's do two dudes and one girl. Your spouse would never go for that. But your spouse will go for two women and him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when a woman steps out of the relationship, it's a little bit more meaningful, right? Because when a woman steps out, we're looking for something that that person can provide. When a man does it, they just do it to, they just do it to fucking do it.
For that ego.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is how society is trying to classify us. Oh, women are the emotional type. They cheat for emotional reasons. Men are the physical type. They cheat for physical reasons. That is not always a fact. Sometimes it's quite the opposite. So, we have these gender norms and these gender roles that kind of throw men off, and that's why their feelings be hurt. Because if I cheated, it's because I wanted to cheat. I was trying to entangle with a zangle, okay? Not because, oh my God, because women are usually more vocal. So if you're not giving me something I want, I'm going to tell you that you're not giving
Yeah.
me what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, if I cheat, I'm not going to apologize after. I'm not sorry. I did it. Now, is we going to stay together or not?
Right.
Is we going to continue to entangle
Do you
or
know
not?
it's really hard? It's harder for a man to forgive a woman for cheating than a woman to forgive a man.
Oh, I know. I know. I know.
Yeah, me too.
If a woman cheats, that man will hold it against her for the rest of her life. If a man cheats, I mean, of course, we go through a grieving process. We go through through a process, but they hold it against us over our head.
First of all, you can't hold my cheating over my head because I don't care. I gotta care for this. I gotta care what you talking about.
I can't.
Yo, what you talking about? I said, all right, I did it. Like, so now what?
I don't care.
Now what? Now what? You keep bringing it up. Now what? It's not gonna unsuck the dick. All right. Now what?
Someone is being totally honest.
But it's
I,
the it's the truth. If I choose to apologize once is the most you may get an apology out of me because I'm gonna keep apologizing and keep apologizing and keep apologizing and you're still gonna feel the same way. That's one. And number two, the facts are still gonna remain the same. I did what I wanted to do.
I feel you.
well, speaking of entanglements, you guys think Meg and Tory Lanez was in one? Which called
Oh, they sure was. They sure was.
Wait, but she was in the hospital, no? Meg the Stallion for a bullet wound, and Tory Lanez was there.
and so
There was a couple of
Kylie
other
Jenner.
people there too.
So it's Kylie
That entanglement I do not want no parts of. When there's gunshots and bullet wounds, mm-mm.
That's what you know that entanglement is good. You heard?
Even though he's a little short on the short side, but hey,
So it's just been a
packing
lot of
something, packing more than the gun.
it's just been a lot of alleged business that he allegedly shot Megan in the foot. Now they're getting into an investigation about upping his charges because originally his charge, according to the Shade Room, was just possession of a weapon. Now it's an investigation of an assault with a deadly weapon. So we'll see because at some point he's gonna have to, really get arrested and convicted or tried or what's the word I'm looking for,
He's
Jennifer?
gonna get out on bond.
Indicted.
Indicted. Exactly. He's gonna be indicted for his crime.
Whatever that is, I mean, it's an ongoing investigation. So it's
But I just want to know what was the beef with the Toto? Like we in the car, like how? Because the only thing that would kind of make sense about why you would be getting shot in the toe is like if I had the gun in my hand and maybe you're holding my hand down and me and you are wrestling for the gun and it goes off. But to just wholeheartedly take a gun out and shoot somebody in the foot.
like, you ain't walking out of my life, bitch.
Right. Not only are you not walking out of my life, but you scarred, for life. For real. Like, so you thought you was going to twerk what's the next nigga. Try now. No foot.
Better be lucky it wasn't her knees.
No foot. That's not funny. Because, domestic violence.
No, yeah. I mean,
Like,
allegations right now. Who's to say, Kylie ain't having something to do with it?
no, what they call it, the Kylie Kardashian curse.
Curse, yep.
Every time one of them around, something goes bad.
Always. Never fails.
When we get rich and famous, them hoes ain't never out to the mansion.
Oh, no. Nope.
All right.
Why do you think Beyonce never let her in her house?
That is so true. I can't.
See, now I see why Thomas wanted to kick her out the house when we was playing that game.
Word.
It's so true. Ladies, it has been one hell of a week.
It has.
And it's been a hell of a year, but it's definitely been a hell of a week. Like, they was like, all right, y'all thought July was on chill. I got some fire for that ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was filled with losses, entanglements, deaths, shootings,
Suicide.
yeah,
Like,
suicide. Oh my goodness.
but
Earrings. But
it is about that time of the night where I entangle with my sheets.
yes.
Same here, ladies.
And
So we will
hopefully
see.
next week will be another great week.
Yes, and
And we
we'll have a
will
male perspective on things.
see them win, Jazzy,
Next Friday.
next Friday. Sounds like a date to me, ladies and gentlemen. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our Honest as Fuck
Yes. Yep.
YouTube page.
Later.
And
Bye.
we'll see